So are you an expectant mother, or you just recently got a job in the UK and you require sponsorship and you're wondering if your employers are going to be favorable with this news? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian. On this channel I talk about nursing, immigration, life in the UK. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the mind surrounding pregnancy and working in the UK. Now I get a lot of questions from nurses who are coming into the UK every day asking me questions pertaining their ability to work in the UK and if they will have problems working in the UK because they are pregnant. A video on my channel which I've done previously, detailing how your pregnancy is not a problem, but these questions keep coming back. So today I'm going to be making an explicit video on what you should know if you're pregnant, or what you should know if you found out you're pregnant, at least within the first 3 months of starting your job in the UK. So if you're interested in this, just stick right to the end. Now, to be clear about disclaimer here, every information I'm giving to you is just based on my personal experience and what is obtainable, about policies in pregnancies in hospitals. However, various organizations, both private hospitals and care home alike, have varying policies. So the first thing you need to do is to look out for the maternity policy of the place where you have been employed. Say for instance, you have got a job recently with a care home, or recently with any NHS trust, or with a private hospital for that matter, or a private care facility for that matter. The first thing you need to be doing is to go read up the maternity policy of this organization. Now, where can you find the maternity policy of any organization? You can always go online to the website, or you go to their intranet, that is the website of the company itself. Okay, or you can even request this policy during an interview and read about the policy. Most of these policies are usually online and are free for you to read. Once you read these policies, you should know what is pertaining to you and what then are your next steps. But generally speaking, for NHS trusts, I know these are also different in care homes, and that's why I advise you to check with the trust. Without any bias or giving you less information, most employers would not discriminate against you because you are pregnant, and that is one. However, there is a duty for you to inform them of your pregnancy. This depends on the stage of a pregnancy and the conditions of a pregnancy. Say for instance, you are in the early months of a pregnancy, or you didn't even know you were pregnant, and then you found out you were pregnant after you've received an offer of employment. I say the word offer of an employment. So it's very important that you get the offer of employment first, because we know there are a lot of problems with nurses getting jobs from Africa. So always get your offer of employment first. Ensure you have your offer of employment first. There's no point going into an interview and then beginning to say that you're pregnant. Will they take you? Forget it. You informing anybody that you're pregnant before even you get the job is a no. I would not even employ you if I know you were pregnant, because I'm looking for somebody who can work for me straight away. So I would say hold on until you have your offer of employment. Then you can go ahead to communicate with your employer about your situation. Mind you, you're not going to be recruited or be deployed anything as less than a month, because you need to make your application. Sometimes the employers take time before they give you a certificate of sponsorship. So it's all about timing. If, for instance, you just recently found out you're pregnant and your employer is willing to give you a COS in the next week, there is no point. You apply for your visa, and the next 3 weeks or a month you come to the UK. That makes you less than 3 months into your pregnancy. So, it's not so bad of a situation. You can just come into the country and continue working as normal and inform them of your pregnancy afterward. However, if you have entered into the first trimester of pregnancy, or into the second trimester or the third trimester of a pregnancy, and you have received a job offer, now you need to inform your employer, especially if you're going to be working with the private agencies and the care homes, and even with the NHS, because it helps for planning. Because NHS works in the planning. If they are aware of your situation, they plan ahead of you. Now, in most situations, the employer are only worried about how you are going to cope. So if you're able to inform them that you have support, probably by way of your family member coming with you, your husband, or you coming with people who help you, or you have family in the UK, you can tell them you have all that sorted. All you need is for you to have funds. Now, you may begin to ask, how are you going to get funds if you're not going to be paid? And that's the downside about being pregnant coming to UK. So if you come to UK and you've not worked for a particular set number of times, you may not get payment for yourself. Now, you may be entitled to some maternity allowance after delivery, but you may not get enough money. So it's important that you have support either from your husband and somebody else is working to support you while you are on maternity leave. But your pregnancy should not be a reason why you do not come to the UK. Okay, so inform them that you are pregnant, tell them how far along you are, and they're going to tell you your options. But most importantly, they should not take back your job offer. If it's an NHS trust, the worst case scenario will be they will defer your deployment to after you've had your baby and bring you back in once you've had your baby. Your employment still stays, your offer still stands. Okay, homes and private hospitals, it may be a little bit tricky, but if they really need you, if they really want you, they will take you and ask you to come after you've had your baby, because obviously most of these care homes and private hospitals put you in singular settings and do not offer you a family like accommodations when you come to the UK, and it may be very difficult for you to cope, getting a proper accommodation for you and your family after you've had your children. And trust me, getting accommodation can be difficult in the UK if you are a newbie. So if you have time, come into the UK, settle, but most importantly, pass your OSCE. That's the major thing. Pass your OSCE, get your PIN, and then begin to look for accommodation with the pay slips that you've accumulated in your few months of working. That will encourage the home agents to offer you accommodation, and then they know you are able to pay for this. And ensure you have a supporting partner if you're pregnant. Don't come into the UK as a single mom or a single parent. Okay, make sure you have somebody to support you, or at least live in a community where people are supportive. And although there can be community support, do not rely on this solely. Make your own plans for yourself. If you plan to use nurseries, know it is money intensive. Except you have the money to use nursery to pay for nursery while you work, then coming to the UK alone with a pregnancy is not the best idea. Okay, and it's not advisable. I would not even advise it to anybody. But if you're coming with your family, or your spouse is joining you soon after or just before you have a baby, then all good and fine. And ensure that your partner also has a job to support you even when you are in postpartum, because like I said, you might not be entitled to pay. But if you're entitled to pay, all fine and good. That brings me to conclude that if you're pregnant, expectant, and you're coming to the UK as a nurse, it is not a problem. All you need to do is to inform your employers, be discretional about it, but ensure you're informing them after you've gotten that offer of employment. If you had any value in this video, do give me a like, share, subscribe, and if you have any questions, do comment in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.